What's going on, football fans? It's time once again for another rendition of the Pound for Pound. I'm your host, J.R. Clark, and today we're going to be talking about some of the moves and things that the Falcons have done this past week since the Combine. Not going to be too long of a video today, just some things I want to touch on before free agency starts. First and foremost, let's go over the fact that the Falcons have cut Levine Toilolo and Derek Shelby. Now, Toilolo's a little surprising just for the fact that they signed him to a 3-year deal last year. But I think they were hoping for more out of him. So by cutting him, I think they saved about $2 or $3 million on the cap, which we were kind of tight on cap space this year. So in that aspect, it's not very surprising. Derek Shelby was a little surprising, I guess you could say. I mean, he was injured the year before. Came back this past year and played good in a rotational role, but you don't pay a rotational guy $5 million, to play. So instead of trying to restructure, they just went ahead and let him go. I mean, you got Jack Crawford coming back off injury, and he's almost not the same player, but he's Derek Shelby with a little bit more pass rush. So, maybe that will come to fruition this year. I mean, he did have a really good preseason and was, starting to show well before he got hurt. So the Falcons also announced yesterday that they restructured guard Andy Levitre's contract, which that was a question mark at $7 million. Were they going to restructure him or were they going to cut him? So they decided to restructure him. So that they only had potentially one guard spot to shore up in the offseason instead of two. So, with his restructure, that saves us somewhere between $2 and $3 million cap space again. Also, the team re-signed kicker Matt Bryant, which is good. I mean, you always want money Matt Bryant back in the fold. They signed him to a 3-year, $10 million deal. $12 million with particular incentives. I'm not 100% sure what those incentives are just yet. But right now his cap number for this year is like $1 million or something like that. So all this is in trying to help with cap space, so that when free agency does start next Wednesday, we can make some moves and potentially go get some guys. Now, a lot of y'all know by now we did not get Michael Bennett in a trade. He ended up going to Philadelphia for a 5th-round pick and some low depth chart wide receiver. And then they also swapped 7ths, I believe, or something like that. Or no, I think Seattle sent a 7th with Michael Bennett. A lot of people I've seen back and forth on both of that. Let me just go ahead and, for my opinion, set the record straight. Not getting Michael Bennett is not the end of the world. I mean, he was a 32-year-old pass rusher. Yes, he had 8.5 sacks last year. But it's not the end of the world not to get him. I mean, I think they were trying to get him because they feel like they're going to lose Adrian Claiborne in free agency. So if they feel like Adrian Claiborne's market is more than they're wanting to pay, that makes sense to why they wanted to go get Michael Bennett. But believe you me, it's not the end of the world. I mean, they may redouble their efforts in re-signing Claiborne or look at somebody completely different. There's been rumors that Vinny Curry from the Eagles is now on the trade block from getting Michael Bennett. So maybe you could pick up Vinny Curry for, a 6th or 7th rounder, something of that nature, maybe. So I'm not too concerned that we didn't get, Michael Bennett. I know a lot of people were. But, I mean, this happens, every year. Every year there's some free agent that we're rumored to get or some kind of trade that we're rumored to do. It doesn't go down for whatever reason that we'll never actually know the true reason, and everybody gets all up in their feelings about it. But either way, that's kind of where it sits right now. Just saw that Derek Shelby's actually visited the Seahawks today and is on his way to visit the Browns, so that's kind of interesting. The Seahawks right now are doing some really crazy things. I say crazy. I mean, they're potentially blowing up their defense for sure. There's rumors out there that Richard Sherman may be cut by Friday and that they're shopping Earl Thomas. So they're going to look way different next year. than what they did this year. But anyway, back to our Falcons and the pound for pound. I had a lot of fun last Sunday doing that live stream and chatting with y'all. That's something I think I'm going to try to do more of. Thinking about trying to set up maybe every Sunday or every other Sunday about between 8:30 and 9 o'clock at night. I really would like to know y'all's feedback on that. See if that's something that y'all would be interested in. I'm going to go ahead and tell you I'm going to do one between 8:30 and 9 o'clock this coming Sunday as a, precursor to free agency. I definitely want to take y'all's questions and see who y'all are thinking we should target, and try to have a conversation about it. So that's what I'm gonna try to do, some more of that stuff this year. See how that goes. See how y'all respond to that. But just kind of wanted to touch base with y'all on the things that have been happening this week. I know y'all probably seen it, but all in all, most of the moves aren't super surprising. And they were kind of expected. We had to create some cap space to potentially go get some guys. I know we've been linked to Ed Dixon out of, from the Panthers, the tight end, and then the fullback from the Cowboys. These are already like small rumors that are floating around. I'm pretty sure we're going to go pick up a veteran pass rusher from somewhere, whether it be re-signing Claiborne or picking up somebody else who might get cut. But that's what I got for y'all right now. Again, check back with me on Sunday. I'll be doing a live stream. Definitely want to hear from y'all. Definitely like to have a conversation with you. But until then, Falcons fans, rise up.